There's no time to waste, no time to waste, no time to waste, no. There's no time to waste, no time to waste, no time to waste, so you better do the damn thing right. You only got one life. You better do the damn thing right.
Welcome, guys, the ShoeBenderPod podcast. We are back. Sorry I haven't been putting out the episodes like I've been wanting to. I've just been staying pretty late at work, but today we got off at a real good time, and we're back at it. We're gonna jump right in, guys. We're gonna jump right in this episode, and we're gonna start talking about the play-ins. There was a lot of really good games in the play-ins, man. It was a good time, and definitely, like I was saying, experience took over in a lot of them, because honestly, most of the teams that won were the experienced ones. You had the Nets that won. You know, you got Kyrie and KD, very experienced in the playoffs. Then you got the Atlanta Hawks that won, and you know they were going against LaMelo. First year in the playoffs, it's supposed to happen. You're not supposed to go that far your very first time you enter the playoffs, unless you're LBJ. But so that's who won the East. The two teams that won in the East. We move over to the West, and in the West we had the Clippers and the Timberwolves. Was a really good game. That was a really good game. That's probably the only one where the experience didn't work out because the Wolves won. I didn't get to watch like the whole game, but I did watch the last 7 minutes of the game, and man, it was intense. It was really intense. I don't get what Karl Anthony Towns was doing, man. First of all, he had no points. Like, he really didn't help his team at all. And then he made literally the dumbest foul to foul out. You know, man, it's a self-awareness. It's a presence of mind. You know you're on your fifth foul, and you decide to make a dumb foul, man. Like, legit. Like, you're professional, bro. Like, you know better than that. What happened was that PG went up to get a board, and Karl Anthony Towns literally leaped over him and tried to get it. They're going to call that every time, especially when George, PG kind of sold it. He kind of fell to the ground, you know what I'm saying? But he got the call, and there goes Cat. He goes in the bench. So now you're expecting Anthony Edwards, who was the number one pick. You got him trying to, keep you guys alive. What's his name? D'Angelo Russell made some big shots, but it sucked that the LA Clippers couldn't get it done because they had it. I mean, at one point, Terrence Mann was making some plays. I mean, he literally, there's difference when you get blocked and then when you get the ball snatched out of the air. Like, me personally, I feel like that's way more disrespectful. I'd rather have someone block me than snatch the ball out of the air. So he gets like back-to-back blocks, and then he comes straight down the lane and just slams it. He yeet all up in their face, and it's looking good for them. PG, he wasn't scared of the moment. He took those shots. They just didn't go in. But they played really hard. I wouldn't be surprised if the Clippers get in the playoffs as well. Obviously, I don't think they're going to get that far because you need Kawhi. You need the claw. You can make it to the finals with PG, but you're not going to win it with PG. I just really feel like Kawhi is that important to that team. He really is, man. I'm a LeBron guy, but I respect Kawhi. I respect greatness when I see it. I remember growing up. Well, not growing up, but just watching LeBron throughout his whole career. I never, ever watched any other player, any other team. It was just strictly LBJ. And there was only one person that anytime he played against him, I was always watching. I was glued. To me, it was the finals every time these guys went heads. And that's this guy right here. Kobe Bean Bryant, the Black Mamba, R.I.P. He's the only one. People are going to say, what about the Warriors? It wasn't the same. It's not the same. Because at the end of the day, you're not having Steph guard LeBron. I mean, when that happens, you already know what's going to happen. But with Mamba, it was different. Mamba could guard him. He would guard him. And he was the only guy, man. He legit was the only guy that I always watched. Like, if these guys are going heads, I'm not doing nothing that day, but I'm just watching that game right there. That's how much respect I had for Kobe Bean Bryant. Still do. Still not over what happened. I'll probably never get over it. Yeah, it really sucks. It sucked. But yeah, like with that's why I feel like they really need Kawhi to win that chip. And also on the other side, let's see here, the Pelicans won. The Pelicans beat the Spurs. I actually seen this crazy stat online. It said it's been like 50 years or something. Like, it was like a crazy stat. I might be over exaggerating, but it's been like over 50 years that the Spurs and the Lakers weren't in the playoffs. Like, that's wild. For me, that just goes to show how great both those franchises have been. I mean, back to Kobe. I mean, Kobe would say it all the time that he would have more rings if it wasn't for the Spurs. People sleep on the Spurs, man. They had literally 5 Hall of Famers. You had Parker, Ginobili, Duncan. Kawhi's gonna end up being a Hall of Famer, but I'm talking like before Kawhi got there. And then you had Greg Popovich. Greg Popovich he's literally the Bill Belichick of the NBA. He has been. They're just so gifted when it comes to coaching and making moves, like general manager moves. I don't know if Pop's a general manager for the Spurs. I do know Bill Belichick does both. I mean, that's just how great he is. Like, he knows how to build teams. From literally 20-year run. Literally just got Mac Jones. Like, he knows what he's doing. He knows his shit. And so the Pelicans ended up winning that game. And so we kind of got to update a bracket. We're still going to wait to see who wins tomorrow. It's going to be the Pelicans against the Clippers, fighting for the A seed in the West. And then you got the Hawks and the Cavaliers. Cleveland, baby. Believeland. Best believe it. They're trying to go to they're both fighting for the A seed as well. I mean, like I said, experience. Experience always matters. I mean, the Clippers were right there. They were right there, and it was so funny to see, the Timberwolves be so hyped, especially Beverly. Bro, I get it. The girl didn't want you. You went to a different girl, and now you want to, shove it in the old girl's face. I get it, bro. But you need to tone it down, man. Tone it down for real. And the fans need to tone it down, too, over here chanting beat LA. First of all, you only chant that for one LA team, and everybody knows who that LA team is. Let's be real. Y'all need to calm down with that. Saying that y'all want Memphis. Y'all don't want Memphis. I'll let you know that right now. That Timberwolves team, you do not want Memphis, man. You do not want them. You do not want to see Ja. Man, that's literally who they're going to match up against. But, I mean, you be careful what you ask for. You know what I'm saying? Be careful what you wish for. I feel like they're probably going to get swept. Because they went too hard on the celebrations. It's like, tone it down, guys. Like, why you slow down? It was kind of like, when the Suns last year, when they were going to the finals and they were like all down the street, they were on top of cars, pretty much already having a parade. Anytime I see that happens, it just lets me know it's like you're good. You're good with what you just happened. Like, you don't really care about what happens next. And, we all know that Phoenix lost. And honestly, I feel like the Timberwolves are going to lose it in the first round. Just because of all the emotions. Like, they were so animate, like, about beating the Clippers. The whole Timberwolves team wasn't, but Patrick Beverly was. I mean, we all seen it. Like, but they needed to tone it down. You got a real big problem coming up. A huge problem. Memphis is a problem. And, then you got over here on the East, it's going to be KD and Kyrie against Boston. That's going to be a great matchup right there, man. I like that matchup right there. Yeah, the way Kyrie left Boston, that don't sit right with all those guys still. And it shouldn't. It honestly shouldn't. It shouldn't sit right with those guys the way he did that, man, because they honestly had a real shot. They were literally a game away from going to the finals. They almost beat LBJ. Almost. You ain't gonna beat LBJ, man. And yeah, I mean, I love that matchup. I think that's gonna be a great matchup. Seeing, Tatum and KD go at it. Kyrie, try to get past like that defensive guy and Marcus Smart. I feel like that's gonna be awesome. There's gonna be a lot of emotion in that game. I feel there's gonna be a lot of emotion. A lot of emotions are gonna fly around in that game, and there's gonna be a lot of pushing, shoving, a lot of chirping, a lot of talking shit. But that's playoff basketball, baby. That's what we love to see. That's what we tune in for, to see all that action. And so we're just waiting to see who's gonna play pretty much Phoenix and Miami. I think it's going to be Miami against Atlanta, and I believe it's going to be Phoenix against the Clippers. I don't see the Pelicans winning, but even if they do, they're not making it out the first round. The Clippers, I can see them going out of the first round, but let's be real. I mean, Phoenix is a powerhouse right now. They're good all around. So we'll see. We'll find out tomorrow, Friday night, pretty much when the playoffs and who's going to all be playing each other on Saturday. So it's coming, my guys. It's gonna be a great time. The playoff basketball is always a great time of the year. And I was seeing also too that the finals finally went back to the their cursive finals that they used to always have instead of that whack ass shit they had. What I really want the NBA to bring back though, especially when it comes to the finals, is the Larry O'Brien in the middle of the court. I know y'all remember that, and man. That was the best part. To me, I love that. I love the fact that it's like, hey, this is the biggest stage in basketball, so we're going to have the Larry O'Brien right in the middle of, whatever court you're on. And I really hope the NBA brings that back eventually, because I really love that. That was, as a fan, I love seeing that. It was a good time. So hopefully, they listen to their fans and, they bring that back to us. But now we're going to switch topics into football. There's, it's been kind of quiet in the football world. There hasn't been too much movement. There's still a lot of really good free agents out there, and they haven't got picked up. Derek Carr just re-signed just got a new deal, which I think is good, man. I really like Derek Carr. A lot of people don't like Derek Carr. I like Derek Carr. And he's honestly going to get better this year. You got Devontae Adams coming in. There's no way you don't get better. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen it when they played together at Fresno State. They played together in college. Go watch those highlights. I mean, they were dominant, but that's why I feel like Devontae Adams is just that great. Devontae makes his quarterbacks even better. They could be great, but he makes them go to a different level, like a different stratosphere, man. And I really like Devontae. I really like what the Raiders are gonna do this year. Of course, if Derek Carr stays healthy, we know how that goes. He's pretty injury prone, but I think they'll be all right. They got a solid offensive line. He's definitely got the weapons now. Hunter Renfrow really reminds me of Cooper Kupp. He's just clutch, reliable, always there. I remember watching when he was in Clemson with Deshaun Watson. That was Deshaun's go-to guy. Always go-to guy. He's the one that won the national championship against Bama. It was him. He caught that ball, touchdown. I really like Renfrow, and then you got Waller to worry about. No mames, bro. Like, good luck. Like, they're gonna be scary, and I haven't even got to the running back, Josh Jacobs. Like, they're gonna be really scary on offense. They were already good on defense, and then you had Chandler Jones to pretty much complement Max Crosby. They're gonna make some noise, man. Gilmore, I guess he was visiting with the Colts, so we'll see what happens there. I mean, their defense has been good. You got the maniac at linebacker, Leonard. You got DeForest Buckner down on the defensive line. They had a decent secondary, but I mean, if you had Gilmore on there, that really helps out. Everybody knows that. Desmond Ridder visited the Seahawks, which, if you watch my last episode, I did talk about. He was one of the guys that I was hoping that Seattle drafted. Where we draft him, I don't care, but I would really like to have Ritter on the roster. So seeing that, I got really excited. And then we got AJ Green that re-signed with the Cardinals, which the Cardinals right now, I mean, it's kind of weird what's going on with them, man. I mean, you got Murray literally saying that he ain't gonna play unless he gets a new deal. Like that's some rough waters, man. For me personally, like I think it's a no-brainer. It's like, why don't you re-sign Murray? Like it's a no-brainer, man. Like you guys literally were nothing without him. Now he's there, and you guys are constantly in the playoffs, but you guys also suck ass at the end of the year. Like let's be real. To me, is that Kyler Murray's fault or is that the coach's fault? Because literally they did a graphic, and it literally was, I think it was either the past 2 years or the past 3 years. They showed how the Cardinals start off so great, and then they just shit the bed at the end of the day. Like literally, like it was crazy seeing that stat. It was like, whoa, like that's a problem. That's a huge problem. Like you're not supposed to be playing your worst football in December and January. Like that's the opposite of what you should be doing. So me personally, like, is that coaching? Is that really just a quarterback? I mean, Seattle went through it not too long ago. Like even DK saying like, yo, like defenses figured us out. Like they knew what we were going to do because we did the same shit over and over and over and over again. Like you can't do that in the NFL. Like you can't. These coordinators are so great. These coaches are so great. Like you can't be mediocre in your play calling. It does not work like that in the NFL. You can't get away with that in the NFL. So we'll see what happens there. Me personally, I feel like they're gonna pay him. I just think they just don't want to pay him what he's asking for, because he's probably asking like that Deshaun Watson money, that Patrick Mahomes money, which is fine. It's fine to ask for it. Why not? One of my really best friends, really good friends, used to always tell me, a closed mouth don't get fed, which is very true. So Kyler, I think what's going on there, well, honestly, I think just literally that's going on, is that Kyler wants a certain amount of money, and the Cardinals like, slow down, homie. Like, you good, but you ain't that, like, you ain't that good. And it's kind of true. I honestly don't fault franchises for doing that, because I feel like franchises actually pay too much for guys after just one good year. And we see it happen all the time. For me personally, if you ever went to a conference championship or even made an appearance in the Super Bowl, I ain't paying you top dollar, dog. I'm not. I'm really not. Why would I pay for something that I hope gets me there? No. I want to pay for something that I know is going to get me there. Patrick Mahomes, been to the last 3 AFC championships. That's the reason why he got paid. And then there's those guys that like Dak. Dak's really good, but I wouldn't have paid him that much money. I mean, Jerry Jones really did not want to pay Dak. He did not want to. I don't care what anybody said. He did not want to pay this guy. It took him, I don't know how. It literally felt like they had to hold him down and be like, pay me. And he was just kind of like, fine, all right. Because there was really no better option. There wasn't. They pay him, and the Cowboys was in the first round. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, the Falcons, you pay Matt Ryan after he had a meltdown in the Super Bowl. Never got you back. Never even got you to the second round, I believe, of the playoffs. I mean, it's just, that's why I feel like there's just I don't fault the Cardinals for not wanting to pay Murray, because obviously they probably see it, they just don't see it in him like that. And I don't think they want it, because it's a business, man. It's a business. You're investing this money into this guy. And so, honestly, like I said, we'll see what happens, but he's going to get paid. He's going to get paid because there's no better option at quarterback. I mean, you're not going to go for Mayfield. You're not. Let's be real. So he's going to end up getting paid. And then everything will be kumbaya afterwards again. I just don't think they're going to be that good this year, because JJ Watt isn't reliable, and then you lost Chandler Jones on your defense. I feel like he was that great. I mean, they got some great guys on that defense. So like, I really love Buda Baker. I love Buda Baker, and then Isaiah Simmons is only gonna keep getting better. Only gonna keep getting better, man. So we'll see what happens there. Sammy Watkins signed with the Packers, which everybody's like, oh, they fixed their issue at wide receiver. No, they didn't. Dude, you're not gonna replace Devontae. You're not gonna replace MVC. Scantley, who was your second leading receiver. Everybody tries to say Lazard. Dude, Lazard ain't that good. He ain't no number one, and neither is Sammy Watkins. So I feel like out of that group, who's going to get the most targets and the most catches is probably going to be Tunyon, the tight end. You could tell Aaron Rodgers really likes that kid, and he does get open, and he's reliable. I watched a lot of Tunyon. I watched a lot of Tunyon tape, and because I play a lot of fantasy football, and he was turning it up for the guy that had him on our league. He could play. I like Tunyon. But we'll see what happens there. We'll move on to soccer, the footy. And man, there was some shit went down, homie. Some shit went down in the Champions League. We had Atletico Madrid throwing hands with Man City. Like this is what I say. Like, tempers flare, man. Like, people want to win. Like, when I see stuff like that, it doesn't scare me. A lot of people get scared when it's like, bro, chill out. They're really not gonna. It's not gonna be like the Malice in the Palace. Like, that kind of shit is never gonna happen again. If it does, it does. But I mean, tempers flare, man. Like, guys want to win. People want to win, and I feel like Cam Newton said it best one time when he lost in the Super Bowl. He said, "You show me a good sore loser. Like, you show me a good loser." And it's true. Like, nobody likes to lose, man. Nobody. And so it's just a passion, man. But there always has to be a winner. There has to be a winner and there has to be a loser. That's just the way it goes. You can't share shit, man. It don't work like that. So yeah, man, these guys really went heads. They got really heated during that game. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out on YouTube or whatever you like, wherever you see your stuff at. But Man City did move on. They did move on in the Champions League. Liverpool moved on as well. Real Madrid moved on, and I mean, I think the biggest surprise is Villarreal, man. They beat Bayern. Some of you might not watch the Premier League or anything like that, but Bayern, the team that Villarreal beat, is like they're in that top echelon of teams. Like, in the Spanish league, you know it's Real Madrid and Barcelona. It's like those kind of teams. For those that don't know, Bayern is part of the German league. There's Bayern and I think it's Dortmund or Drummond or one of those where Holland plays. Those are like the powerhouses. Like, that's where everybody wants to go. If you get signed by them, you're the shit. Like, you're a badass soccer player if you get signed by them. And they lost, man. They lost, and now there's like rumors going around that they're about to lose their best player to Barcelona, and Barcelona pretty much said like, "Hey, we want to sign you," and he pretty much said, "I want to sign with you." So we'll see what happens there, man. But yeah, you're not like, when you're one of those kind of teams, you're not supposed to be losing to teams like Villarreal, man. But people always forget too that every team has professionals, man. Every team, from top to bottom, these teams don't suck. Even the worst player will tap that ass. Like, that's where people get it twisted so much. Is like, oh yeah, but they got the better team. It's like, yeah, but the other team's also professional. They don't suck. So I never get surprised. You've watched sports when you've been watching sports for such a long time, you never leave anything out the bag. Like, you never leave anything off the table, because you know what could happen, and it happens. So Villarreal beat them, and they're facing off against Liverpool. Never Walk Alone. Discouses. And then you got Man City against Real Madrid, which I think is badass. I really like that. I really like that matchup. They play Tuesday, and then Liverpool and Villarreal play on Wednesday, and that's the first leg. Like I said, if you don't know soccer, they always play first leg and then second leg. So you play at their house, and then they play at your house, and then it's pretty much off points. If you're 0-0 through both games, and obviously, you go till there's a winner, penalties usually and shit like that. But that's what's going down in the soccer world. There also was going down in the soccer world. Speaking of teams like Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern, like I was telling you, in the Mexican soccer league, there's a powerhouse there that, some shit went down there. You had guys fighting with each other, like not really throwing hands, but just me personally, I feel like sports media blew it up more than what it was, honestly, like they always usually do. They're very dramatic. And, they were like, oh my gosh. But it's because it was a team, though, too. This team, the Chivas, it's one of those teams, like it's like in the NBA or in the NFL. In the NBA, it's the Celtics, Lakers, Bulls, or Warriors, or, obviously. That, like, everybody, like, they just know, like, these teams can't be losing. Like, you have to make the playoffs with this team, or else your ass is getting canned. Look at Frank Vogel. Missed the playoffs. The whole team played like shit the whole year. It's on you. Even if it was the team that really did play bad, like the players played like shit the whole year, it's gonna be you. You're first target. You're the first target. And that's honestly what happened over with the Chivas recently. They had to fire their coach because it's just there was too much turmoil. There's too much bad shit going on in that business. And that kind of, when you have that kind of brand, that kind of label, you can't be failing, man. You can't. You have to win. It's a very, very high stressful job. It really is. Because you have to be able to please everybody. You got to please your players. You got to please the organization. You got to please the fans. And if you're not, you're the first person to always go, man. It's always the coach. The coach will always get let go first. And then if it keeps on being a common denominator, then they start looking at certain players like, hey, we got you this, we got you that, and you're still not, It'd been like if LeBron never won a championship with AD. Right now, this season, they'd probably be trying to trade AD because it's expectations, man. When you go to these certain teams, there's certain expectations, and if you don't meet them, someone's getting fired. Someone's losing their job. And like I said, most likely they always start off with the coach. And so, it's unfortunate, but that's just the way it goes, man. When, like I said, when you're playing with, when you're coaching these high level names, brands, players, there's just expectations, man. And if they don't happen, if they're not happening as fast as the GM wants to or the owner wants to, you're gone, man. And that's honestly what happened down there. And like I said, it sucks, but that's just the way it goes. That's the way sports are. But that's honestly it for today, guys. There hasn't really, like I said, there really hasn't been much going on in the sports world. But I want to do like a quick recap on everything that has happened the past 3 days. Obviously, we'll have a lot more to talk about, especially this weekend because we got playoffs coming up. And I'm telling you, that's always so much fun, guys. I really hope you guys are tuning into the NBA playoffs. It's going to be a great time, always is. But with that being said, I love you guys. I hope you guys keep doing your thing. Keep pushing, man. Keep pushing. I know it's tough. I know it's tough every day. Tougher for some of y'all more than others. But we got to keep pushing. We got to keep fighting. Get up every day. We got to own the day every day. And let's just keep being great. Let's keep being positive. Let's be the energy that we want around us at the end of the day. I know sometimes you have to put up more energy to help everybody get up, But that's our gift. That's what we were blessed with. It comes natural to us. Show that. Show your talent. Show your blessing. Give it to everybody. It's good. We're gonna make this a great world. It already is. But we need to make it way better where there's way more positivity than negativity. And you're gonna get where you're going to. Just keep going. Like I said, you might not get there as fast as you want to get there, but you're gonna get there. Stay on your path. Stay strong. And I'll see you guys on the next episode. All right, guys?
Yeah, there's no time to waste, no time to waste, no time to waste, no. There's no time to waste, no time to waste, no time to waste, so you better do the damn thing right. You only got one life.